It's quiet. Too quiet. Not a single complaint about the Planescape setting. Though I can't say that I blame the community. After everything that's happened with Wizards of the Coast, a lot of Dungeons & Dragons players have switched over to other settings, other RPGs, so the fact that there are no complaints isn't too surprising, but still, not much coverage over the Planescape. Honestly, I kinda like this new setting. It introduces a lot of elements that should have been fleshed out a long time ago, mind you, but it is nice that we got some of these features fleshed out in this setting. So, how about I go ahead and talk about my favorite features from Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. I don't really have anything else planned for you today, so might as well talk about this setting, since there's not much coverage over it. But before we get into this little list of what I like and don't like about this setting, if you recall, many moons ago, I released a video on my take on alcohol in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and what rules could be put into place in order to experience the effects of alcohol on your character. And I am here to announce that I have finally put those rules into a Word document that you can download for yourself today. Actually, I've had this document for a while, I just haven't found the right time to announce it. So in the description of this video, you will not only find the link to the Word document for this homebrew system, but you'll also find a link to the previous videos that I made covering this subject. My rules for alcohol in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, in case you wanted to check that out. You'll be able to see what my thought process was when creating these rules in those videos. So, if you want to check that out, go ahead and check it out for yourself after you are done with this video. But without further ado, let's get into 5 things that I like and don't like about Planescape Adventures in the Multiverse. Number 1. The Gate Warden background. This background would fit perfectly with an Oath of the Watchers Paladin or a Horizon Walker Ranger. You spent a significant amount of time somewhere influenced by intense planar forces or a portal to another plane of existence, such as one of the gate towns in the Outlands. You are accustomed to experiences that would leave others reeling in terror or enraptured by otherworldly beauty. And you are as comfortable dealing with Celestials and Fiends as you are with the vendors in town, who might be one and the same. This works perfectly with these 2 different types of characters, and I just love the concept. But I do have one complaint, and it has nothing to do with the Gate Warden, but the spell that can be found a little bit later in this section. The Gate Seal spell. Why, oh why, is Gate Seal a spell where you stop portals from opening and close any open portals available to only sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards? The classes that actively open, say, portals, said portals are opened by these classes. why would they have a spell to do the exact opposite? Surely the ranger and the paladin, and maybe even the cleric, would have access to these spells. Not classes that actively open these portals. It's a small nitpick, but it's a nitpick. I thought I would mention that. Still a good spell, but it would make more sense if it was given to the ranger and the paladin. I would even settle for Blood Hunter, honestly, because that would be hilarious. Number 2. Planar-influenced creatures. This is actually a very great idea, and I love the idea. You add features to different creatures so that they feel like they are a part of the planes that you put them in. For example, the depicted image here are dinosaurs who roam around the plane of Mechanus. That's a fantastic idea. I love the concept. But, I am disappointed at the execution. Some of the features that are presented feel lackluster. Like they aren't fully fleshed out. I can even see other features being added to this list that is presented that would work perfectly. But they aren't in these lists of planar influences. So that's my only qualm about it. But other than that, isn't an excellent idea. I just wish there was more to it. A larger list, maybe even some additional ideas to make things more expansive? I don't know. It just seems like there's something missing in this list. Number 3. New Celestials. I am sure a lot of people have wanted new Celestial options in their Dungeons & Dragons campaigns because it seems like there aren't enough Celestials. And we actually have a few more options. Like with this one, the name just escaped me. Romani. There it is. Romani. These are... honestly, they are beautiful looking. Just this metallic sheen, just something about them is magnificent. It feels like they belong in the celestial realms. And then you have the Archons, which I'm sure a lot of people are ecstatic about the Hound Archon and the Warden Archon being added to these books. But I like the Romani. They look fantastic. Though I do have one complaint. Why is the Barrier celestial? It's a goat centaur. Shouldn't it be a fae, like the centaur? Why is the Barrier a celestial? It makes no sense. Number 4. New Fiends. I talked about the Demodans, the fiend here on the right, in the Tiefling video. They are from Kassiri. And I like this. I like the fact that we finally have stat blocks for the Demodans. And the fiend here on the left is the Maleficent, and it's alright. Not my favorite, but it is certainly better than some of the other fiends that we could see. But I like the Dimmadans the most because we needed them a long time ago. And we finally get these disgusting looking fiends. And they are just splendid. And I would love to use the Dimmadans in a campaign. They just seem like the perfect fiends to be setting out against your players. And the Maleficent, interesting, but not exactly the most useful. Honestly, it would be more of a neat idea for a character concept. And I think I might try to make it as a character concept later on. Number 5. The Eater of Knowledge. Just look at this thing. This thing is exquisite. It is the 5th edition version of the Brain Golem. Ever since I learned that the Brain Golem existed, I wanted it in 5th edition. It is just stellar. A golem created by mind flayers. Nothing can top of that. They technically have 2 different golems, but the Brain Golem is my favorite. And I love that the Eater of Knowledge is now in 5th edition. It just works. Honorable mention. It was inevitable that we talk about the Kalarut, which is the second inevitable that has been released in 5th edition. The first one was the Marut. But I do like that the Kalarut has been finally given to us. It's not an inevitable that I probably would have liked to have seen, but it is definitely a good inevitable to add into 5th edition. Though I will say it probably could have been designed better. I still like it. It's a nice inevitable to have, though I wish there were some more released. And with that being said, that is all the time I have for you today. What do you like about the new Planescape setting? Let me know in the comments section below. Until next time, this has been Drahjan, and I am offline.